Greetings and welcome to the energy of Scorpio. This is Ron from Tarot of the Twin Sun. Tarot of the Twin Sun is a functional division within the Order of the Twin Sun. Please take only what you will. We shall begin with a reading in the month of August, particularly the first day of August 2022, 2:30 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. There is a possibility here of some very strong colorations in which the ascendant of Scorpio at this point in time are very much activated with the ascendant and the seventh house. Okay, so this primarily means that the actions of others, Mars being one of the primary rulers of Scorpio, are intended or designed through the energy of Taurus to be a blind bull. Okay, when it comes to this, the dragon's head meets with the bull essentially, and this stellium of Mars, North Node, and Uranus essentially create some interesting harmonics in terms of what I would call a possessive quality that is trying to release itself. Okay, now this indicates primarily through the form of Taurus. Okay, which, if Mars is in Taurus, there's a direct sort of conflict with its natural planetary ruler, that is Venus, of warlike tendencies that have to do with the design and the need to possess. Okay, so it's funny because these things will actually challenge communication for Scorpio in particular. However, there are deep insights to what really motivates these people. Okay. One of them has to do with a nurturing capacity that is with Venus in Cancer conjunct Lilith in the 8th house. And this indicates primarily excuse me, that the actions that they produce would actually create a value system or sustain something in terms of their own emotional content, or what you truly value in terms of the hidden, okay, of the darker side, in terms of emotional currency or energetic sort of reserve. Okay, there's a reserved quality here that has to do with a secretive nature that is embodied through Cancer and Venus and Lilith in Cancer, with a conjunction in your 8th house that actually produces this effect. Okay, and this is because a lot of the gross realizations that are embodied through Taurus, especially Uranus and Taurus and the North Node there, are actually facilitating great realizations through another, that the actions of others in general produce this effect. This allows for primarily the tidying up of an inner world, with Moon being in Virgo in the 10th house. Okay, that actually allows in the freeing up of karma from the 7th to the 8th and the 10th houses. So nothing but good when it comes to this. The irony is that these people will project onto you a great feeling of home or reserve within what they can possess, meaning that there's something about their actions that can actually produce the image or the influence of someone who may be possessive over your own energies or your own sort of natural acclamations when it comes to the South Node in Scorpio. Now, with the South Node being in Scorpio, a lot of us on a collective level are actually being forced into modes of transformation that seem natural. There's a crisis mentality in which a lot of the history, or in retrospect, a lot of these things that are tied to the idea of home or the idea of truth that comes through crisis or war, are highly elicited in the 12th and the 1st houses. Okay, what does this do for you? Particularly, you embody essentially the need to address certain karmas of the past when it comes to these people and their bull-like mentality. However, it would be wise not to stand in front of a moving tank or a charging bull. There's a lot of stuff that can occur in terms of confrontation in terms of that. Some of the bigger interesting oppositions that I see here have to do with the addressing of a voice or a way of communication. Find the quest for truth is very highly elicited here, especially when it comes to your community, your more immediate community, your friend circles, and there's a possibility here of lessons that are trying to be reformulated, or you're able to see the authentic nature of fixed individuals who are extremely independent in nature, and perhaps they are learning from you or through you some lessons that have to do with the realized mind when it comes to the curation and the production of truth. When it comes to this, look to the house of the 5 or the 5th house. There's a great deal of expressive qualities that are tied to Jupiter in retrograde in Aries that can allow for great insights and realizations that are funneled through the element of fire. Okay, so there is a curative and perhaps a productive quality that allows for faith as well as leadership, positions of leadership that have to do with creative impulses, dealing with children primarily. Generally speaking, the more you treat these people or individuals in terms of the realm of your own creativity or creative impulses, the more you embrace excuse me, independence and creative impulse, the impetus of truth will reveal itself like a flowering. That's one thing. There also is a possibility here of some sort of block when it comes to the mastery of trying to understand and sort of exsanguate, bring to life certain things that have to do with this activation in your 7th house. The idea here is to not act upon these relationships, to not debase oneself in terms of the lesser form of Venus, but to progress in terms of the higher form of Venus, which is detached, it's Libran, it's intellectual, it's observational, it's also based on the principles of peace and peacemaking. So it is often done through the intellectual capacity to objectify relationships and not subjectively dive into some of the more some of the more aspects of inequality, not to dwell on those too much. As I've said, there is a charging bull on the horizon, and there's something about this bull that is very much ingrained with their own headiness. There's something about it that is extremely cerebral, detached, and disorderly. But it's funny because, once again, there's something about this that allows you to see and free up certain karmas that are tied to the curation and the purificative qualities of Moon and Virgo in the 10th house. That's the best I can do. Thank you.